Let me tell you about a training flight I did with a high-time pilot years ago. So this guy started in float planes, worked his way to the airlines, retired as an A320 captain, started a float training school. He sold the company just after he hired me and got me to take over his positions in management. He came back a couple of years later when the management changed again and just wanted to stay involved. And so as part of that, he had to do annual training. So we went up to a remote location, and when we got there, he just talked aloud, landing an airplane he knew well, but hasn't flown it in about 3 to 4 years. Okay, well, the way the wind is, we're gonna land in the opposite direction, so we're on downwind now. Let me drop a couple inches of power, get some speed, so I'm in the white arc. There we go, 1 notch of flap. Like, he just talked the entire way down to the water, and it was all generalities. It was not stuff out of the manual, but he had such solid skills that he could just walk his way through an airplane, no problem. They hadn't flown in a while. And that's what you're trying to do at flight school. This is a long way of saying, stay simple when it comes to airplanes. Don't fly anything too complex too early, because you're at this point building your foundation so that you can fly more complex stuff later. I just talked to a guy who's going to buy a Bonanza for his commercial. I told him it's a terrible idea. In fact, it's a dangerous idea, because what's inevitably going to happen is it's such a big jump in complexity, he's gonna be thinking about the switches or the engine or all sorts of stuff other than his speed on final, which is the most important thing. And I'm telling you, there's a long history of accidents like that where they're worried about all these other things and not the basics, such as speed on final. So this is a long way of saying, stay simple in flight school when it comes to aircraft. You'll get to the complex stuff later, but you need to have a foundation first and understand the hierarchy of what's important, such as speed on final. All right, fly safe, everybody.